Welcome to the second part of our fifth module in our general program. This part of the program is about the introduction and the marketing analysis, which is a crucial part for every project of investment. I will show you the outline of this part of the program, and then we will deal with the very first part of such a topic. We will deal with the process marketing analysis, which is very specific, the market analysis in details, the concept of market environment, and then with the concept of product life cycle model. When we start with the process marketing analysis, it's very important to distinguish between the market and the marketing analysis, since the confusion about these two items could be misleading both for the decisions and the implementation of the project itself. So, the market analysis and the marketing will be considered as two different aspects. Let's start with the market analysis. Market analysis is a fundamental requirement for an investment project to secure clients or customers for the output. So the general idea is that we have outputs, and these outputs should be delivered to clients and be consumed by customers. So our products and services, which are the main elements supporting any new initiative, namely any new investment, should be considered through the lenses of our potential market. Each market is made of different components. The first component is information. So enterprises are gathering information from the potential and existing customers. The second element is about utility. So since the products and the services should fulfill some needs of our potential customers and clients, it's important for the enterprise to assess such an utility. The third element is the so-called product package, or when it comes to services, the service package. In order to understand the idea of package in such a connotation, it's important to distinguish between the primary functions and the secondary functions of each product and service. It's important to distinguish between the main components and the complementary components of each product and services. So, if we consider a physical good, it's important to have an idea in terms of business idea of both the car product and all the services and the complementary byproducts which are related to our core products. So if you consider a car, for example, it's important to consider the car itself and its characteristics, as well as important to consider the after-sales activities, which are useful for our clients for the maintenance of the product itself. So the idea of package is a collection of different items, both physical and intangible, that could be related to the sale activity and to the post-sale phase. Another important component is about distribution. So if we consider the production of a product and or the delivery of a service, it's important that our outputs might be able to reach the targeted clients and customers. Distribution is the bridge between manufacturing and the market accessibility to our products and services. Now, when it comes to international projects or international expansion, it's very important to consider not only the physical characteristics of the products which are embedded in the product package, but the consideration of the distribution channels is also very relevant, since we might have our technical components that might be perceived in a positive way by our potential clients, but if our products are not accessible by the market, they're losing value in terms of clients' perspectives, which, at the end of the day, will imply that their perceptions in terms of utility might be lower if our distribution channels are not that effective or efficient. In order to analyze the market, we have to deal with a specific procedure. So we will see a sequence of steps that might be carried out for analyzing the market. Success and failures related to project of investment, mostly when we consider the international expansion of activities, are related to the lack of accuracy and diligence in going through these following steps. So the activities we are about to describe are very important for the company itself and for the success of the investment we're going to deal with. First of all, it's crucial to fix objective and scope of the investment, objective and scope of product and services we're about to deliver. Once we have fixed the objective and the scope, we can go through the data requirements. We can ask ourselves what are the sources of information that we need to access and what are the specific data we need to figure out what is the size and the segments and the potential targets in the market. Following the data requirements, there is the activity, the actual activity of data collection. So once the company has established what kind of data are needed, then the following step is to gather all this information to collect all this data in a data repository. Once the data are stored in a data repository, then we can go through the data processing and analysis. So as we will see in next classes, we have different kind of methods for dealing with data processing and analysis. We could refer to different softwares as well. The point is that when we have collected the data, then we need specific algorithms, specific tools, specific lenses in order to extract the required information. Again with the procedure, data analysis leads to a forecasting model. So the data are collected with the aim not only of having a picture of the existing market, but most importantly, for defining a forecasting model. Once we have the model, we can have a forecasted demand. Again, both in quantitative and qualitative terms. So once the model is set up, we might define what is needed by our customers and what kind of products and services we could put in the market for fulfilling their needs. So far, we have just a general scenario of what the market might need. Then, the company has to decide what to do for penetrating this market or for expanding its own presence in the market. So, after the demand is forecasted, then we have to elaborate a pure marketing strategy. An important part of the marketing strategy is to fix what the expected market share is going to be. It's going to be targeted by the company. Then we have to define a specific market program. So, when we have the marketing strategy plus the expected market share, we could define the specific actions for making these objectives collected in the strategy becoming real actions through a schedule of activities and a timeline defining what are the specific actions to be put into place and what are the expected results for each single phase. Once we have defined the marketing strategy, the market share, and the marketing program, we have to fix a sale program. So marketing is about, as we will see momentarily, the definition of the targets. Sales is about the actual action of selling our products and services to clients. Once we have fixed the sales program, we should define what is the manufacturing requirement as well. So following the sales program, we have the production program. So we have to manufacture or deliver what we have planned in our sales program. Between the sales program and the production program is very important to synchronize the different timing of actions, since the schedules may be totally different. Just to give you an idea, seasonality is a very important item which makes an asynchronous demand of resources from sales and production. Once we have fixed the production program, then we have to define the plant capacity. So in this part of the program, as I was telling you in the beginning, we will start with the market and marketing analysis. In the next part of the program, we will define how to structure, plan, and manage the plant capacity. So when it comes to the market analysis, we've seen that we have a procedure which is made of different steps. If we have a look in a closer way to the market analysis, we find again different items, different focuses of attention, different sub-analysis we might conduct. Let's start with it. First of all, we have to study the market environment. So shortly we will deal with the idea of market environment, and we will see that we have different actors interfering or benefiting to and from the enterprise decisions. Then we have the understanding of customer needs. So if we consider just the market is made of all the potential clients. But what is very important is to profile these clients in terms of customer profiles, which means at the end of the day to understand the specific customer needs. The third phase is to assess the demand. So once we have studied the market and we have understood the customer needs, we have to assess what kind of potential demand is consistent with our products and services packages. So if we consider the product package or the service package as a unit of analysis, it's crucial to understand that the demand should be assessed consistently to the specific characteristics of our product package or service package and the specific needs that we have screened by understanding our customers or trying to do our best for understanding our customers. Once we have assessed the demand, then we could estimate the market share. The conceptual step linking the assessment of demand and the estimation of the market share is the fact that once we are here in estimating the market share, we have to consider our competitors as well. So this is the potential demand associated to our product package or service package. If we add the competition, then we have to estimate what kind of share of such a demand, what kind of share of such a market we could conquer considering our products and services and their own characteristics. The first phase is the study of the market environment, as you might see. So, if we consider the concept of market environment, we will notice that we have external environment and internal variables, external actors and internal forces belonging to the company. Let's start with the external-internal market relations and specifically with external environment. So the external environment is made of the demand of products. Generally, demand is estimated considering the general type of products or service we have in mind. So if we're about to manufacture a new car or a new watch, we should consider the general demand for cars and watches, without considering at this stage the different sectors of these markets, the different segments of these markets. Second, price. Since it's an external factor, price is related to the average price of similar products in a specific market or segment, which ultimately it's related to the price which are practiced by our main competitors. So our product and service could not be independent from the study and the analysis of our competitors' wants, and the same with the price. We could not price our product without considering the average price which is existing in the market and the specific prices applied to their products by our main competitors. The third element is about supply. So any manufacturing process as well as any service delivering process requires supply. We could not consider our potential investment in terms of returns if we ignore the negotiation power and the conditions which are required by our suppliers. So, just to give you an idea, scarcity of raw materials or utilities could compromise the analysis and the opportunity that our company could face in investing in a new area. Then we have the promotional structure. The promotional structure could differ from industry to industry as well as from country to country. So the promotional and the distributional channels are very important since might interfere or boost, might constrain or enact the development of our product or service in a specific market. So here is not about the choices of the single company, it's about the average promotional structure which is operating in a specific industry or in a specific geographic market. Also, related to the external environment are the governmental, legal, social, and ethical factors. So if we consider that products and services are both and consumed by clients and customers, and if we consider clients and customers as individuals or institutions operating in a specific socio-political context, then the role of government, the role of laws and regulations, the role of social and ethical factors are crucially important. So, as you might notice, if we consider different geographical contexts, we might have different populations embedding different values, traditional values, religious values, values coming from the history of a specific country or a region. Well, all those kind of heritage-related values, all those kind of legacy with the past or with the geographical context or with the religious context might force or condition the human behaviors, both in terms of clients and suppliers. So the expectations about the returns of an investment when it comes to the launch of a new product or service in a new geographic area are conditional to the adherence of the values and the needs embedded in the product or service with the values operating as a driving force in the society. In a very simple way, some products and services might be accepted in a geographical context, might be refused in a geographical context, might be encouraged in a geographic context, might be constrained in another geographical context. Environment protection, it's about the regulations on the eco-sustainability of choices. So specific industries and specific countries might be more defensive or aggressive in terms of the protection of the natural environment. So the very same production process, the very same products, the very same service might receive different appreciations or different constraints if we consider different geographical contexts or geographical industries. Distribution structure. As we were mentioning, together with the promotional structure, the distribution structure is crucial when it comes to the analysis of these external forces conditioning the market relations. So distribution could be organized on a large scale or could be distributed on a small scale. Having the intention to sell the very same product or service, having at the company's disposal different alternatives in terms of distributions in different geographic areas, again, might significantly condition the success or the failure of the distribution of a product in a specific market. So distribution makes the products and services accessible by a specific market. If the distribution channels are not consistent with the product's exigencies and the service exigencies, they might constrain the market development by foreign enterprises. If we consider food, for example, since food is perishable, the distribution channel meant as the possibility to deliver in a physical way physical goods in a different area is crucial for the competitive advantage which is reached or which is aimed by a whatever investor in such a country. The level of technology. This is also called when we register high differences among different contexts, technological divide. So the technological awareness or readiness is crucial both for products and services. If we consider the familiarity with internet, for example, the way my products might be distributed or promoted through the e-business, the electronic business channels, might differ from very developed and less developed countries. So the average familiarity, the average endowment of IT, information technology resources, might condition in a very significant way the external market relations. So far we've seen what is about the environment, the different actors and the different conditions that a company might face with that could determine the marketing strategy or might interfere with the market analysis, which is primary to the marketing strategy. Together with some external factors, we have some other internal elements that we should consider as well. So when it comes to the internal elements, they are labeled internal since they come from decisions which are explicitly made by the company. So instead of actors and conditions, we might refer to internal variables, since we have different items where the organization is deciding on. Price is a very important decision. So the price of our products and service is crucial for competing with other companies in the same industry or in the same segment. So as we will see, our price could be aggressive or defensive, could be quality related, or could be inspired by a low-cost philosophy. And all those decisions are conditioning the way that we refer to the markets. So if we consider the airline industry, the air transit, we might notice that we have regular carriers delivering services on the average at a higher price than the low-cost carriers. So price is a crucial internal variable which is conditioning the way the enterprise is developing relations with the rest of the market. Second, products in terms of characteristics, service in terms of characteristics. Both technical and emotional and behavioral characteristics related to the products and the need that the products and services are trying to satisfy in our customers. Promotion, the way the products and services are launched on the market, the way that the consumer behavior is encouraged towards buying specific products and services. Again, distribution. We might have distribution as an external element, since the distribution channels which are already established in a specific area might condition the choices and the alternatives that the enterprise has. But it's still a specific marketing decision. So if we consider that distribution might be labeled as purchasing as well, we have here the 4 P's of marketing: price, product, promotion, purchase, and distribution. which are another element for studying the marketing environment. So we have external actors and conditions and internal variables. What is very important to deal with when it comes to market analysis and marketing is the concept of product life cycle model. This is a very solid and established tool for market analysis and marketing strategy. So the idea, as we will see, is that each product or service, on the average, which means that we consider a general product, we do not consider the specific product of our enterprise, goes through a specific cycle which is related to the life of this product itself. So we have a model which is general, depicting different stages of evolution for the very same product fulfilling the very same need. In details, the product life cycle PLC model is structured in usual phases. The consideration that these phases are not stable and equal for each product it's very important to understand. So on the average, if we do not consider some specific conditions that we will take in consideration at the end of this presentation, we have the startup of the product. So the product is unknown, and a company or a group of companies are launching a brand new product in a very unaware market. Then we have a phase which is called growth. So sales are improving and the incumbent, the established enterprises are selling more and more products, and new companies are entering into the same industry for selling the same products. Then we have maturity. We have the stabilization of sales, which implies that the incumbent companies are establishing their own positions, and more frequently the small companies are leaving the market since they don't see any further development opportunities anymore, or newcomers stop entering into the market. And then we have eventually the phase of decline. As we will see, some enterprise could contrast this phase of decline. So graphically, this exhibit is showing us that if we consider the product life cycle model from a graphical perspective, by a graphical representation, we have market volume on the y-axis, and then we have time on the x-axis. And here we have the description of the four phases that I've just mentioned: startup, growth, maturity, decline on such phase. So graphically, we might observe that if we consider again the market volume, at the beginning we have few companies selling an increasing number of products, and this is the startup. Then we have an inversion or an increase in the growth ratio of such volume, market volume, which means that sales are growing. So again, established companies are selling more products and new companies are entering into the same market for selling the same kind of product. After the growth, we have another phase, which is maturity. So as you might see, the growth is slowly reducing its pace and is going through a kind of steady state. And lately, we have the decline. So the the market value is shrinking, which means that less clients or a small number of customers are appreciating the very same product. So the survival enterprises could react to this market decline, which is exogenous, so it's out of control. It's an external element of the market, through the launch or the renovation of new products. So some modifications to the same product, some new versions of the same product could be considered as an attempt by some incumbent enterprises to react to this decline. So the sales could revamp in the way that some companies are able to launch a new version of the product or a new package of the very same product or service. So what is the relation to the product life cycle in terms of demand forecast? So the relation of product life cycle to demand forecast is that for a new entrant to the market, so if we consider an external company which is interested in a specific market, which is already going through a specific life cycle, the product life cycle can be an important component of demand forecasting. So according to the stage of development of this product in a specific market, we might be able to identify what is the general trend, which is part of the history of this product, and what might be the future trend if we consider the general layout of the product life cycle. So when it comes to forecasting, the traditional forecasting models are related to the general economic trends, recession, growth, inflation, stagflation, and so on, are related to the demographic factors, since specific products could be targeted to different segments of the same population. So the demographic trends and the balance between newborn and elderly people, or the gender distinction between male and female potential customers is crucial, considering the specificity of the products and the services we're going to introduce in such a market. Another important element to the traditional forecasting models is related to consumption patterns. Consumption patterns are generally established trends that are able to identify the general behavior of customers related to specific products and services. The last consideration is about what I was mentioning before. Product life cycle does not normally apply to traditional products unless the local economy and culture is changing. So it's very important to analyze the product life cycle considering the specific characteristics and specific economic trends of each geographic area as a potential market. So, in conclusion, if we are dealing with a project which is related to an investment in an international expansion or modernization or penetration of a market with our products, we could not ignore the product life cycle, as well as we could not ignore the specific local conditions. That's everything for this class. Please refer to our website for further information. Thank you for your attention.